I'll say this nice, tell it in a letter, stamp and mail it out. We did our best, couldn't have done better, I think we should be proud. But you held me down when I was living up, back and forth but never together. So I'll stand up and walk out and make my way alone for now. Holy as a ghost, heavy as a feather, pure as the driven snow. But watch your back, it's heartbreak weather, I think it's time you go. My mind's made up, my mind's made up. We keep doing this but nothing's getting better. So I'll stand up and walk out and make my way alone for now. Say you'll find yours in time, but I'm not sure what's yours and what's mine.
Welcome to Dreamland, episode 5. Where we get to celebrate, commemorate, and look back on Minnesota's inaugural World Cup Championship of 2024. Here we go. Now it's where we get to officially be in Dreamland, because now we're going to be looking back on the finals, on that run in the finals. So this is when it all counted, when it all laid on the line. Yeah, so first ever PWHL finals. Boston, Minnesota. The unlikeliest of matchups, let's face it. Yeah. Let's face it. Nobody at the start of the season would have probably said Minnesota, Boston, finals. Never mind when you actually get to the actual playoffs and you see the matchups. A lot of people thought Montreal would have taken Boston easily. What happened to Victor? You got swept. You got swept. And you didn't even get much firepower even. They lacked scoring offense. They really did. They really did. And yet that team's got Captain Clutch on them. Yeah. They really... Yeah. So people just mentioned, Boston got into the finals by sweeping Montreal. So they have to see what Toronto couldn't do. And all three of those games in that series went to overtime. One of them, I can't remember if it was game 1 or game 2, went to triple overtime. Yeah. So there was a lot of overtime being played in that series. So whoody-la. And maybe that helped to our advantage. Yeah. Because with Boston having played so many overtime periods, that's sort of like the equivalent of like 2 full games, yeah. So that kind of helped us, thinking, right, well, it doesn't matter if we played game 4 and 5, because they would have had to play multiple overtime periods, yeah. Which would have then, racked up, yeah. Agree? Yeah. So, Minnesota, Boston. Just. You just knew it was going to be a thrilling final. Yeah, you just knew it was going to be a thrilling final. And coming into it, I kind of had a feeling. Yeah. I don't recall saying this to you two because there wasn't really that much time between, as Per is going to represent in the moment, there wasn't that much time between Game 5 of our semi-finals against Toronto and Game 1 of the finals against Boston. So I just had kept this thought to myself. I kind of felt that this series could potentially go the full distance, go the full 5. But ideally, the sooner it gets wrapped up, the better. Yeah. So, following their 5-game series against PWHL Toronto, which of course they won in the semi-finals, PWHL Minnesota would go on to face PWHL Boston in the first ever World Cup finals, following Boston's upset, massive upset, I should say, over Montreal, eliminating them in a sweep. So, the finals would see PWHL Boston have the home ice advantage. That meant that Stronger Centre, their prior venue, would get games 1, 2, and if needed 5. While for Minnesota, Excel Centre once again would be the venue for games 3, and if needed, 4. So, Game 1 of the finals was held on the 19th of May. 2 days after Minnesota had won in Game 5 at Coliseum in Toronto. Now, Pluto, you want to start about this before we even get into the actual neck result. Yeah. Because this drove you mad. Yeah. Because we mentioned it really briefly on the last show. Yeah. That during Game 5 of the semi-finals between us and Toronto, the schedule for the World Cup was released, and you just had a Hail Mary. Well, I don't get why was it scheduled to begin 2 days after the completion of the semi-finals. That is not enough time for us to basically rest, recuperate, and then most likely, because obviously we were not going to be getting our high advantage, had to then fly out to Boston. It was not enough time. It was not enough time. It should have been 2 or 3 days after. But you had to get it completed before the draft. Could have done. I get what you're saying, lady, but I don't think if you started it a few days later, it would have had an impact. Travel days between series, yeah, but that still was not enough in my opinion. I just felt, why are we making sure? And that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye out during this year's playoffs. Is when we get the schedule World Cup pass. How is that gap going between the last semi-final games and the first and game 1 of the finals? Depending on who gets to do. Yeah, right, okay. I just did not like it. It's like, why? Not even the AHL would start the Stanley Cup finals that quickly. No, because they just like to drag this season out to the brink of insanity. You two this year are going to be desperate for the Stanley Cup finals to finish because you two are holding the draft. I know. I know. Are you not excited now? No. You were all for it when you were rumoured to be getting it. Yeah, but now we know it's definitely going to be a... You know, what it is. Oh, of course. Yeah. I know. Anyway. I'm sure you can still bring locals in. Should be fine. Nah, it's not worth it, is it? Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, but I totally get what you meant, I mean, it wasn't right that the finals were started literally like 2 days after the semi-finals had been completed. You want to have give both teams a fair shot. And if it had started a little bit later, then maybe game 1 would have gone our way. Yeah, well, that's interesting with game 1. Game 1 actually was a very, very even contest. Because I wouldn't have been surprised if we go into game 1. Really got the start? Yeah. Manny really got the start. Yeah. I would not have been surprised if we had come out slow in game 1. Boston racks up, like, say, a 2-goal, 3-goal lead, and then we basically just chased the rest of the game. I wouldn't have been bothered by that, because then my mindset would have been, okay, you come back harder in game 2, you go to 6. Yeah, because... Yeah, you were still in that mindset. Yeah, because that's the best scenario in a best-of-5 series, especially if you start on the road, get the split result, you take it back on an even footing to your barn, and then you go to get that series lead in game 3. But actually, in game one, they were actually a lot more competitive than you would have thought. Both sides literally trade leads back and forth in this match. But it did see them end up losing 4-3, which only by one goal. Obviously, they tried really hard to push that time off. They really did. They really did. As mentioned, Manny Rooney got the start in net. So, for game two, did you see Ken Clee pulling the same trick? I honestly didn't know. Yeah, because obviously in game one we hadn't played that bad. I mean, in the semi-finals it was understandable because we did not play well in game one. We did not give Nicole Henson the opportunity, so it kind of made sense. In this game one we played miles better. If an extra 5 minutes had been up there, we could have done it. So I honestly didn't know what was going to expect for the last of game two, but wasn't surprised. No. Yeah, because 2 days. Later. Doesn't that the notes? Or am I? Am I? We can't do that. You just like so I was seeing 2 and I'm thinking things through. Say 2 days later. Let's cross reference. Yeah, it's like hold on. No, we're not gonna cock up this. Not for the finals. Right. Hold on. Because the rest of it we had other things going on, so we had to try and make sure we definitely cross-reference this. Okay. There's 2 seconds. Why is it over? Yeah, we have to do it this way. Alright, okay, you go. Game 1 was May 19. No, I think George is right. Yeah, but it's not on the notes. So we need to make sure for definite it's right for this. Otherwise we're gonna... So let's go. I watch your show. And you said it was on this date when it actually was on that one and I was there. Somebody will do that. Shall I get that thing we used to cross-reference with Montreal and Boston to see when their series was close with ours? Yeah. I've learnt my lesson for the playoff show this year, because in the notes I did not put the dates down for each game, so when everybody's cross-reference them, it's like... So for this year's playoff show, I'm going to put the dates of each game in, so I can then cross-reference, so I don't have to then go... game 1 was done, and then I'll do it, yeah. We've been learning on the go, kids. We've been learning on the go. Right, so here we go. So, the finals... Yeah, it was. 2 days later. Taylor. Why was I thinking it wasn't? Because after game 2, there was a lengthy gap between game 2 and 3. There you go. Yeah, because for game 2 we were out. Yeah. Game 1 was the only time when we didn't have anything else on. So, yeah. So, game 2 was 2 days later, on May 21st. And just like in the semi-finals against Toronto, game 2 saw a net-minding change for Minnesota, as Nicole Hensley got her first start since game 1 of the semi-finals against Toronto. What did you think about the tactic? Was it wise? Was it not wise? Discuss. I'm not sure if it was wise this time, because how many days had it been between her last start and May 21st? Seriously, was it... I mean, she's had a lot of off time, so would it have been wise? Would it not be best because this is the finals? You just ride Rooney all the way and then take what you got? It was a bold move, and either have it didn't backfire. Well, it didn't backfire in the end, because in the end, the tactic worked, and it proved to be successful, as she would lead her team to a 3-0 shootout victory. It meant the team would go back to Minnesota with the series tied, heading into Game 3. So basically, the ideal style that I've been saying that you need to do is get a split result, which we didn't get to do. We couldn't do in Toronto. We had it in this. We had it in this series against Boston. Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Back on. Yeah, we've got a series again. It's back in the game. Yeah, back in the game. And you needed it. Yeah. You absolutely needed to get this win. And they did. Yeah. Because I think, because you would not want to be that team that's down in a series like that, and then knowing the cops in the building each and every night, like Edmonton were in last year, knowing full well that every single game after game 3 was a must-win, and you knew that cup was in the building, and it could easily be you having to watch someone else hoist it. Yeah, know the feeling. Yeah. Don't make Edmonton feel bad. I was giving them my backing last year. Not sure if I fancy their chances this year though. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, great result. Great to come back with like a really emphatic win there. Yeah, because the first game was really tight. It was a really tight game, and it's been very rare for either games between these two sides in regular season or playoffs for them to be lopsided. Off one team to take like full control. So the fact that we were able to get full control of this game was just brilliant. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know why I thought it was later. I know, we were out. We were out on that night. What were we at that night? We were at the Larry, seeing Jesus Christ Superstar. Oh yeah. It was that version. It was that silly version. that we're gonna refer to it, the silly version. Yeah. We've not got time. We've not got time to do that. To do that now. We've not got time. That's a different show. That's a different show. And actually, I've already done an episode on Jesus Christ Superstar, but before we saw the most recent production of it in 2023. Yeah, this most recent production we see Jesus Christ. We see it twice now, and let's just say they've made some changes to it that made me think, what the hell have you done? Provided quite a conversation afterwards. That's a tear in my wall. Right, there. Oh no, sorry, it's there. Sorry, it's her. Sorry, I forgot to turn the wall there. So, oh no! Right, it's because the pet. Why not make sure the pillowcases are on all the way through? I thought pillowcases. Like, oh no, these are still quite new. These balls. They're only about 3 years now. 3 years now. But they'll probably get worn on these. Yeah. Anyway. No. Right. Yes. So, game 3, which the build to this was so hilarious. This was so hilarious because game 3 was the same night as I was going to see Girls Aloud. Oh, you had a lovely time. I had a lovely time. If you want to see some clips, you can go on my Instagram. The handle is @GeorgeHandMusic. So if you want to see some clips from when the girls were on tour last year, you can go onto my Instagram. Oh, did you catch the program before Christmas? Yes, before Christmas. Yeah, I actually wanted a little highlights pack show of it just before Christmas last year, which is I think might still be there on ITBX. Go and look it up. But but Girls Aloud was booked way before the PWHL. It was booked way before then. No way was I missing Girls Aloud. No way. No way was I missing Girls Aloud. Literally, one of my favourite groups was as a child, and I watched Pop Stars The Rivals, and I was probably one of the few people that was happy with every single one of the girls that was chosen. Even Sarah. When got the party, I thought, no, I don't think it should be Jabeen. I think she would be the Jerry of the group, would be the diva who would demand to go solo. It all worked out fine in the end. So Girls Aloud got booked way before the PWHL, and then when it got to nearer the competition with the World Cup Finals began May 19th, this is about 5 days before I was due to go. Pluto, in the weekend near to it, was starting to get very, very tetchy. Because he was like, are we going to be back in time for game 3? And I was like, yeah. Well, I knew exactly what you were going to be like. We also, by the way, had Sooty. He, like me, also loves Girls Aloud. No, he just loves Shazza. I caught him trying to wave at Shazza every single time she came near us. This was so hilarious because the whole build-up to it last year, was when we mentioned it, Pluto's gonna be like, I'm gonna have to be the chaperone for these two and pretend I don't know them. It was priceless. Because I knew you were going to be that person at the concert to sing through every single song. And you did. I did. You did! Yeah, I did. You did! You were that guy! You were that guy! I just knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. I just knew. I could see it coming. He's going to be that guy. It's going to see people. And of course, they'll probably do an encore. And of course, he takes let's get back for the AO to her house. I thought, are we going to be back in time? Because what if he then leaves the loo? It takes forever on the loo. My waterworks are not what they used to be. Let's just go. Oh my god! You've gone so morbid on this program. You brought up my preservation plan. You brought up what would happen at my funeral, and now you've mentioned my dodgy waterworks. Wow. Plus the expletive warning on this show. Wow, we've gone far. Can I just say, by the way, on the day, I had no problems with if they were going to be back late, because chances are, with it being Game 3, it's probably not going to start bang on time anyway. No. Because they never do when they start the first game in each team's market in the Stanley Cup. Nope. So it's fine. You encore, George. Then he was like, bye, see you later, see you for Game 3. Where he was just like, What was he like when he got back out after the concert? Was he still like, well, I don't remember what time was we got out, but he kind of was. He was still like, yeah, because I knew this tram's going to take slow. It's a packed house. But yeah. But anyway, but a good distraction though, isn't it? From what is a stressful time. Yeah, because the finals is stressful. Yeah. Plus it was a split series. It's gone either way. Yeah. Yeah. So I had a lovely night out. It was brilliant. Me and CD. So he bopped along all the way, and I was singing all the way. And poor Pluto just sat there as the chaperone. Anyway, can I just say, it did feel a little bit weird watching then the program on ITV, knowing full well that it was a couple of months ago. That was when we were in the World Cup finals. Oh, Shezza, you had to be used as a distraction. Don't go there. Don't you dare go. Don't you dare. Don't you dare go there. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Okay, so Game 3 in Minnesota. So the finals shifted to Minnesota on the 24th of May, with Hensley getting her second start in second straight. Oh, that's not in there. What do you make of that? Right move. Oh, now you think it's the right move. Well, I wasn't sure in Game 2, but it's kind of like, well, you did it with Rooney in the semi-finals, and you've got to at least do it with Hensley in this, and then you judge what you then do going forward. Yeah. Feathers. Yeah, feathers, yeah. And this game was... We talk about rare lopsided results between the two sides. Oh my word, did Minnesota come out swinging? Pretty much like Girls Aloud. No, Pluto, Girls Aloud came down from the ceiling. Because we started with Untouchable. And they were on the plinths, and it just came down. Same thing. It's not the same thing! Anywho. Yeah, I don't think we can compare this to Girls Aloud, Pluto. Thank you, lady. Thank you very much. But it was really great how they took full control of this game. It was like, no messing about. Because, yeah, this could have gone either way. It could have been like Game 1, back and forth. It could have been like Game 2, we take full control. But I thought we took the dominance even up a notch further. Like, if that was even possible. Yeah. Like, you just think, how is that even possible? I mean, we did really well in the first 2 games, and then you put a Donnathon in game 2, and it goes up a notch in game 3. Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant work. Brilliant work. Yeah, brilliant. And just run out away with it. Yeah, just run away. Yeah, just brilliant. Yeah. Boston did try and make a little fight like that. Yeah, but it didn't really work a lot. And can I just say, we all 3 of us gave absolute props. I'll let you talk. I'll let you go talk through it, lady. Yeah, we all gave props to Courtney Kessel, Boston's coach, for going for the gamble. Because, as you know from experience, George, to be down in game 4 in that series is not good. No, if you go 2-1 down a best-of-5 series, then the pressure is more on you rather than the team trying to close out the series. Because you know... Not going on? No. I think it is more the pressure's on you. Because you've got to go down and lay all on the line. So I think it's more pressure. Some might think it's still weird, but I think no, in this situation, no. But yeah. And I did wonder in that fire TV time where they're gonna go for the gamble. It was at that time just 3-1. They had a power play opportunity. They did. There's about 4 minutes left. And lady, you're getting very good at calling these gambles. I am. Even when we've been watching other teams' games, she's been getting very good at calling these gambles. Yeah. Well, you may as well go for it. Regulation wins are so important, you've got to go for it. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously, I always say in this situation, if you've got a power play, risk it for the biscuit. Yeah. Just go for it. What have you got to lose? Yeah. What have you got to lose? Yeah. If they don't get the exit goal 5, at least we can say, oh well, at least you try to get us back in the game rather than just throwing the towel. Yeah, I love that from Boston because they must have thought, yeah, this is probably quite a tall order. Yeah, they have not slipped up so far. Yeah, but they went for it, and it was just an unfortunate sequence that saw us get the edge netter and a jailbreak goal. I think didn't even one of our players climb into the net. They did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. It was not the prettiest of jailbreak goals to watch, but hey, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it because that meant that we were now only 1 win away from history. 1 win away. Yeah. I know, boy. No one was going to get this one in a hurry. Yeah. Okay. No one was ever going to forget the way Game 4 went down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, again, doing distractions, on Game 4, me and Pluto took Sweet to see the Garfield movie. Yeah. So that was another. So we were getting very good at pretty distractions. Was Game 1 the only day we didn't have anything to do? Yeah. Because Game 5 was on a Wednesday, and of course I'm out on Wednesday. New York, yeah, so that's fine. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Game 5. You were out on that day today. No, you cannot go and get props! No. Leave Nemo alone. He doesn't like it. But yeah, so. Game 4. I should say that Game 4 was the day before bank holiday here in England. Here in the UK, on the first Monday and the last Monday of May, they are basically bank holidays. Yeah. So it meant that as a possibility, we could have spent the whole bank holiday Monday literally in jubilation. But that's not. Yeah. So So much is on the line here. Yeah. Both sides. For obvious reasons. Yeah. And this was new textbooks because we had, at this point, had not had a series lead. No. So this was completely new text for us. And the question was going to be, how are we going to be able to manage that? On top of the pressure, this is the first ever World Cup final. And if you win, you're going to have your name etched in history forever. Yeah. That's why I say I thought the pressure was more on us than on them. That's fine. That's fine. At least we both made our cases. Yeah. So. Neither side really sort of allowed the other to take their chances in this game. No. It was a risk. It was a really tight affair. And I kind of feel... I won't get YouTube sponsors by this in a minute, but I kind of feel going into this game that Boston was not going to make it easy. I kind of felt they still feel they've got something left in them to try and make a push at this. Yeah. And it might be, at the end of the day, it could be either a one-goal game, either whether it's that dreaded 1-0 result or it's a 2-1 result. Yeah, it could have been that type of. What do you think? I wouldn't have been impressed if they made it easy for us. I felt we need to prove that we won this and won it outright. So, and after what they got in game 3, I would have expect them to come back and want to go out guns blazing. Yeah. I was not expecting it to be easy. No, I was not expecting it to be easy. But I didn't think it was going to be that well timed because it's very rare to get a 0-0 regulation result. Yeah, very rare. Yeah, very rare. You don't really see you don't even see the NHL these days. No, you don't even see the NHL these days. Very rare for hockey games to end regulation with neither side having got on the board. But that again is a testament of how good, how strong, and how super competitive this league is. Yeah. So neither side gets a foot in. So we go to the dreaded overtime. Okay. So this had to go to double overtime, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So oh God, I feel sick already thinking like, oh, no. Right, so here is where it all happened. So, in double overtime, this is when we all thought that it was Glory Minnesota. And what a story, what ending this would have been, eh? Because it was Sophie Jakes who was part of that first ever trade in the PHL, who we got from Boston in exchange for Tapani. Yeah. What's the that would have been, eh? Yeah. So, we all think that she scores. And we just then basically went full on jubilation. Jumped out my seat on the floor. Literally rolling about on the floor in complete jubilation. Yeah. Because we thought we'd done it. We did. We thought we had it. We literally thought. We thought we had won. Yeah. So we just went complete jubilation. And then all of a sudden, I hear the play is under review. And I'm like, no! 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 Yeah. No. We then get put back on the chair. Yeah. And yeah, it's like, no. Yeah. Yeah, those two get put back on the chair. I was then literally, because we were literally up and down the living room, basically just going like this, hands behind his head. Yeah. Literally just pacing like that. Literally just like, don't do this to me, don't do this to me, don't do this to me! Yeah. Because I knew what would happen if that goal gets called back. I knew what was going to happen. Yeah, I knew. I couldn't know for certain, but I knew exactly what was going to happen. If that goal gets called back, Boston's going to win the game. I knew. Yeah. Oh, they milked this. They dragged this call out. They dragged it out. And unfortunately, they called it back. And we were just completely angry. Yeah, because we all thought, because we just been made fools of ourselves. We did. Because we basically started wrong on the floor in jubilation. We just got made fools of ourselves. Not that anyone saw it, because there was no cameras in the room. Yeah. Goal gets called back for goaltender interference. Yeah. The play resumes. And as you rightly said, George, Boston would get that goal. It didn't last long either. No. I've not got the timings. I can't remember either. I don't remember it. Yeah, Alina Muller puts the champagne on ice. Literally puts the champagne on ice. And we'll go back to Songa Centre for Game 5. Yep, well said, lady. Let's wrap it up. Now, ever since that game, we do still look back on this moment. Now, I know a lot of people will say, why are you still looking back on this? You won. Yeah, but at the time, we did feel robbed. Yeah. And oh, did we get angry after that? When she got that goal, did we go ballistic? Yeah, because we felt that was our opportunity to win it on home ice, and it's been taken away from us. Yeah, it's literally just been taken away from us. Yeah. Alright. So, it's just, yeah. And plus, we didn't know if we were going to win Game 5. Yep. Could it have been like how we very nearly cost ourselves a playoff spot? Had we now just basically threw away the World Cup? Is that what had to happen? We didn't know. No, we didn't know. No, we just did not know. No. But we went full ballistic. And we had every right to. Because you do not want calls like that to basically decide who doesn't win the World Cup. No. It should be. This is why you very, very rarely see these calls get made in the Stanley Cup Finals. Because in the Stanley Cup Finals, the officials know if we get in the way, it's going to cause quite the ruckus. Yeah. So that's why you do not see those moments in the Stanley Cup Final. Yeah. And that's how it should have been here. But, at the end of the day, if that had been allowed to stand, I don't think us three would have ever heard the end of it from the Fleet. I don't. Because Fleet fans will be saying, Aaron Farrell got interfered. You should have realised that. That should not have happened. You should not have won it that way. No. And Fleet fans, I'd say to you is, yes, I would agree with you. Because for me, and of course, we do look back at a year on, even though at the time that we were angry, and we went full blood boiling at that, at the same time, if we're going to win this thing, I want to win it fairly, rather than win it on a call like that. Which will then just get discussed for years and years and years and years. Like how Game 7 between my Sharks and the Golden Brats is still being talked about to this day, despite the fact Vegas has a standing cup to its name. They still can't let that go. Joe Pavelski got badly hurt, there's blood on the ice, what more do you want? In fact, regards to that, I say to the Vegas fans, What if it's the other way around? What if it's the other way around? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No. So I know a lot of people are saying, why do you still look back on that? You at the end of the day, you did win. Yeah, but at the time, we didn't know what was going to happen in Game 5. We felt we had the opportunity to win it in Game 4 and could have won it in Game 4. Plus, I don't think we were meant to be ready for Game 5. No. No, we didn't. No. Even when it got to overtime, we thought, it's probably going to happen, isn't it? It'd be a great way to say, win it in overtime. Ooh, what a story. Yeah. No. Yeah, so the whole bank holiday Monday, I think I basically spent it getting out my frustrations. Because we couldn't have any of that for Game 5. We had to then basically focus on Game 5. So I thought, right, I'm going to use bank holiday Monday to basically just get out all my any frustrations I've got left from that game the previous night, get it out. So come May 29, you're ready to go. Let's win in Boston. And hey, maybe that was always the way it was meant to be, because on the night before, it struck me that, hey, our first game of the season and our first win of the season was in Boston. Our last game of the season is going to be in Boston. Why can't it be a win? And that would have been, that would have been a really interesting way to write the script. Yeah. Yeah. But can I now talk about the morning of the final? Because you went full on Peach from Finding Nemo. Ugh. You were literally like, it's morning, everyone. Today's the day. It's like a shiny touchdown. We are winning a World Cup. I did not go full on Peach from Finding Nemo. You were so gung-ho. You were just so gung-ho. You kind of like had this like sixth sense that we were gonna do it. Despite everything that's happened in Game 4, you basically felt we were gonna do it. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I literally went on that day of the final game. I woke up with just like this strong feeling in here that we're gonna do this. We're gonna win the World Cup. It kind of actually began literally as we were going to bed the night before, but I didn't really let those two know because I thought, oh, it's bedtime. I don't want to get them excited. Yeah, then what happens next if we then don't win? So yeah, say that to that. Yeah, but I just kind of then. I spent the whole day feeling like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Now, that's not the sort of thing you would have for a winner-takes-all match. But, it's kind of like but there's just something in me that said, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do it. No. But I did not go all full on Peach from Finding Nemo. Tank is clearly still one of my all-time favourite Pixar scenes. It really is. The Tank Gang literally at that point just go full on OCC, chewing the scenery. It is priceless. It is priceless to watch. But yeah. No. Yeah. So, what was interesting about Game 5 is the moment it started, we then went full on conservative. So, still no cheers, no chance of but any time we had something go our favour, we're like, woo! And then, but like, right, okay, so where to go, Yeah, it's like so for each goal. So I put the goal scorers down for this one, so I can then convey what we meant. Yeah. So, first goal comes, and it was from Liz Shepherd. So like, yes! But like, I was like, but then Liz was like, nice. Still, what? Say 1-0. Say 1-0. Yeah. Say 1-0. Yeah. Say 1-0. I think it was the first period. I think it was the first period. I think it was both. It's 1-1. Or was it second? Yeah. Anyway, say 1-0. Still looking. So then we go to the third period, and then Michaela Cabot which might have stood as the championship goal. Can't remember. Gets it 2-0, and we're like, yes! Yes! But then I was like, hold on, no. There's still a lot of time on that clock. They get the next one. Yeah, they get the next one. Yeah. This is a weird way to watch a hockey game, by the way, boys and girls. Just saying. I know. So it was only when our captain, Kendall Coyne Schofield, put the icing on the cake and got the empty net with about 2 minutes to go. That was when, fine, go for it. And that was when we just basically let loose and just like went full observation because we thought, yeah, they can't get free within the space of, what was it, about 1,058,000 or something like that. Yeah, so it was like, we knew. So as soon as that empty net went, it was like, that is it, we knew. This is ours. We've done it. Take me home! Take me home, Queen! Take me home! Do not stop me now! Take me home, boys! And on the fire buzzer, we start celebrating. Roll on the floor, take 2! No fucking zebras this time! Yeah. It was just, the complete jubilation. It was a bit weird though, the celebrations, because for us three, because it started with the jubilation and the rolling on the floor. Then once we finally got back up onto the chair, it then turned to tears. Yeah, it did. But can I just ask you two, because obviously this was my first championship, is that expected when you win the championship? We did. Yeah. Oh yeah, we did. When the Kings won last Dial Cup, we did. Yeah. We definitely did 2014, which couldn't believe it. I know, it's like, what? Yeah. No, yeah, so it's naturally you do get to see during the celebrations, but yeah, so yeah. But yeah, it was kind of half-half. The first half of it was just like completely celebrating, and the second half was just putting in foot tears the rest of the way through. You know, but at that point, the tears were warranted. Yeah, because it had been quite a roller coaster season for us. You know, we started on a high, then we went downwards. Looked like we were about to, you know. It kind of looked like after one time, it kind of looked like we're about to do what happens in Magic Roundabout when Train hits the buffers and he goes, "I can fly!" It's like, no, I can't. And then they all just one by one crash land into the snow, one by one. Awesome. Love that film. I don't think it's right that you root for the villain. Z-Bad was a brilliant villain. He had one of these really brilliant iconic lines where he said, when I leave someone to die, I expect them to stay dead. Can't even get that right. It's brilliant. Quite more for a child as well. And I was a kid. I think Magic Roundabout was when I was in year 2 or 1. No, I think it was in year 2. It was either 2005 or 2006. Magic Roundabout. I think it might have been 2005. So I don't know. No. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so also Keto as well. I think it was maybe when Magic Roundabout came out. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, and then we get back on the high again. Yeah, and then the big maybe, and then it's ours. Yeah, it's ours. Yeah. You know, so yeah, so those tears were warranted. Yeah, and it was a really emotional moment because this was a huge moment, not for us, but for the sport as a whole. Because this was the first ever finals for a professional women's hockey league. And let's remember, women's hockey has only been in the Olympics since 1998. It hasn't been in the program actually for that long. It might feel like it's been quite a long time, but that's because obviously Olympics are only once every 4 years. But it actually hasn't, when you think about it, compared to the men's program, it hasn't been in the Olympics for that long. Now, so the fact that this was the first of its kind just made it even more the weight on your shoulders than if it had been another. Well, I think it would be very interesting for whoever wins the World Cup this year, if it's us or whoever else it might be. Will they still feel that same weight that we did last year? Probably not. If it's us, no, because for us it would be we'd done the double. And it would be like, well, we've been there, got the t-shirt, we've done it now, we know what to do. Except this time we don't have to have the stupid diagonal lettering jerseys on us. That's the only fault of last season. We had to have those stupid jerseys. Anyway, but no, yeah, that will be interesting. When we get to the World Cup Buzz deal, that will be interesting. Yeah, whoever wins, will it still feel that same weight? Probably not, because obviously this league is established now. It's now established its foothold. So it probably might not feel as it did last year. Yeah, last year, of course, it had that extra bit of weight because this was the first ever championship as a whole. Obviously, we just complete were emotional wrecks. Yeah, we were. Because it took a lot out of us that inaugural season. It did. A lot more than it actually did. So even though I remember back at the start of the season, this season, I said, thank God we're up and running again. It's been too long of a summer. We kind of actually need it to recharge, to recuperate, and to commemorate. Because that was one of the reasons why we didn't want to do this time last year. Because we wanted last year to have that off season to basically, obviously, of course, celebrate our championship. But we also wanted to basically just commemorate and reflect on everything that had happened in those 5 months. Yeah. To go from start of the season, start of a brand new league, to crying your first World Cup champion. So much had happened. So we felt we need to take that time. And honestly, when we came up with this idea back in February, we kind of felt it's been a year on. We might have to do a better job at this than we would have done, say, a week or 2 weeks after the championship last year. Yeah, that was kind of the mindset we had. Yeah, that was the mindset we had when we came up with this idea back in February during the Rugby Series. Yeah, that was the kind of the mindset we had, and it actually has worked a lot better because these have been very well thought out through. We've been recording each of them just once a day because we felt we really had time to do 1 episode each. It's meant that we have allowed ourselves the time to basically go through, look back, reflect, and we've given you some really good, decent quality episodes over these 5 shows. Yeah, it's been. Yeah, we've really been able to really look back and reflect. So it's been quite amazing. I can't guarantee we'll do this every time Minnesota wins the World Cup. Yeah, but we wanted to do it for this one because that championship last year was just so momentous. It was a huge moment for us, yeah, to end what was a really, really incredible first year, yeah, and just you kind of wrote it. No, if we go back to the pre-season in that preseason camp in Utica when all 16 were in Utica. You'd say to me, your team's going to win the World Cup at the end of the season. I probably would have told you to go fuck yourselves, because I just wouldn't be able to believe it. No, but obviously for you, this is obviously your first time being involved with a women's hockey league, so you would be like, no, just let me get my feet in up through the door first. Let me just settle in. Yeah. Let me whet my appetite. Yeah, give me 2 or 3 weeks, then you can start throwing things like that at me. Yeah. He at that point probably would have given you rabies, would have bite you in the ankles, because he wasn't sure how well this league was gonna go. Yeah. So, well, so I was like, I'll take playoffs. Yeah. You would have handled it better above Free Lady. You would have. Yeah. She would have. Yeah, you would have. Yeah. I know, Lord. Just. It's so crazy that it's been a year now. Yeah. Since we won it. And we're always going to refer to ourselves as the local World Cup champions. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I know, and probably say 5 years from now, 6, 7 years from now, when, you know, we might still have a few more belts, or might not have some more belts, people say, why do you still refer to yourselves as that? It was years ago. And I'll be like, well, it still feels like yesterday to me. No, George, better tell like we're always going to be the first. Yep. Yep. We are never going to start referring to ourselves as the local World Cup champions. No. No. And when the other teams in the league, when they get to win their cups, because they will. Yeah. Okay. What even are we? Oh! Pluto! I have permission to bang. You have permission to bang on my walls. That is a red card. Can we not just get through this? It's the final episode. Can we not just get through this without slagging off our fellow competitors? Oh my god. Charge bands, I can't apologise enough for that. Oh my god. I can't. To anybody watching us for charge, I can't apologise enough. That was a red card. That is a red card. Plus, you know how bad their bands get. That fan base always spells blood. Yeah, ladies never. Yeah, ladies always just get aggravated whenever we go to Ottawa, because their fans just basically just go. No, but the Chargers are just so inconsistent. They're like a flipping yo-yo. They can never just stay consistent for like a good amount of time. Can I go back to my original point before you basically just blacklist us in Ottawa? We are always going to refer to ourselves as the inaugural Cup champions. And even when our other competitors, our fellow other members of the league, when they win their cups, I'm going to be able to say, well done for you, but we were always the first. Yeah. Whereas in the other leagues, you basically would just probably just go for dirty looks and try to stop yourself from doing hand gestures. Or just switch off the telly. Yeah. You refuse to watch the handing of the cup in 2023, and I don't blame you. Did we watch it last year or? Cause I can't. Yeah. Did it not cut out last year? No, because we were on sports. No. Oh yes. Because obviously you don't like ESPN, so whenever ESPN hosts the Stanley Cup Final, we have to watch it on Sportsnet. So that meant we didn't cut out. What was I doing then? I think you might have been packing away. Oh, it's getting ready for bed. Yeah. 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 So you want to make sure things were either plugged or not plugged in. That needs to be plugged in. Okay. Oh yeah, because obviously on ESPN last year the feed got cut out just as they were about to be handed the cup. So, so this is at TNT. Yes. They know how to organise a game. ESPN don't. So whenever it's on ESPN, I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to bother. Yeah. Yeah. But in this league, whenever the other teams get to win their cup, I will be able to go. Well done for you, but we were always the first. Yeah. So yeah, just yeah. So yeah, but it was a huge moment for us, and we will always look back on this and say that we were the first ever World Cup champions, even if we don't win another cup. We'll always be the first. Well, which is weird for you, because I think you're like, oh, it's alright, I think I'll get another one. Yeah, well, what is that? What else is there to achieve in this league? You got the mountain in year one. You don't get a prize for winning the league trophy, winning the league. Probably for the best, but yeah, I mean, well, we do not to finish this. Yeah, right, for me. I think this might piss off a lot of people. I'm going to say anyway, because it's my opinion. It's my team, so I can say whatever the fuck I like. I personally wouldn't have a problem if that was the only cup that we won. Because that, for me, is a special cup. Because that was the first ever cup in league history. Yeah. So, if we was then going to win more World Cups, would they feel just as special as that first one did in 2024? I don't know. To me, that's the kind of mindset I'm in. It's like, well, we won the first ever World Cup. Do these other ones feel as special? I don't know. Well, it's been used to the complete opposite. Oh yeah. Yeah. We definitely feel there should be at least another couple over the years. Yeah. I think easily we could be the first team to be back-to-back champions. At some point. Yeah. So, somebody will at some point in this league will be back-to-back champions, and I think it will be us. Something another thing we can say that we've done historically for us. Yeah. We picked up quite a few historical persons in the regular season, so more than that, yeah. But yeah. So you two are basically the opposite to me. You want more cups. Yeah. But we're not like saying we're desperate on right now. No, we're just saying at one day you should be one of those perennial cups that winning in year in year out. Yeah. Maybe when more teams get into the league, that will make it a bit easier. But right now, only 6, possibly 8 coming. It's not easy. Not easy. It's not easy. No. This league is going in the right direction. It's going in the right direction. Give it a few more years, and we'll then get to a substantial level. But yeah, it still brings a tear to the eye just looking back on it. Yeah, because this was what a team this was. Yeah, this was quite the team. And honestly, seeing Kendall get to lift that cup was just that made it even more emotional. Because well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Now, She was the one that got this ball rolling. So in a way, it had to be us. It had to be us in that first season. It had to be. We need that moment of basically Kendall completing this full circle from being the one to steer this and then to see it through. It had to be. Our entire high seed got the playoff MVP. Yeah, well, you get drafted as the first ever player in the PWHL, and then in September, and then in May, you get to be playoff MVP. Well, that turns that song completely upside down on its head, doesn't it? Literally, yeah. Yeah, quite literally. Completely the other way around. Completely the other way around. Yeah. Okay, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But that was just a beautiful moment there. Seeing Kendall get to lift that cup first. No. Obviously, without her, we would not have been here. No. We would not be here if it wasn't for Kendall. And I think that is the best way to leave it. Yeah. Because honestly, for us, this World Cup is quite
I'll say this nice, tell it in a letter, stamp and mail it out. We did our best, couldn't have done better. I think we should be proud, but you helped